Parrying the lightning tyrannosaurus so I can eat him and wear his skin. By Max0r.
What if I told you that there was a genre of game, I know, very hard to believe, entirely revolving around the premise of beating up random animals with comically oversized hammers and machine guns. A game genre containing incredibly complex progression that is slightly too specific at times, a wide selection of weapons ranging from the man-sized revolvers to the literal chainsaw, the ability to play as Akuma from Street Fighter for some reason despite the notable lack of streets, and the capability to see the gigantic oncoming lightning tyrannosaurus and then decide that you want to parry it. Oh my god, free dopamine! You would probably respond with a great deal of enthusiasm, and I would probably respond by telling you that there is exactly one game series in the autism extinction genre, and I sincerely hope that your computer can actually render it. Monster Hunter Wilds Animal Cruelty Edition is a very complicated game to explain, both in a mechanical sense as well as a moral and ethical one.
So I think it's interesting. So we're a minute in. I do feel like the editing is top notch. I like it. It's Max0r up to his usual quality of work. It felt like it's been in this 56-second time frame. It felt like it's been about 2 minutes. I'm how do I word it? It's not that it's a bad video by any means. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I don't think it's hooking me, and I'm trying to figure out why. Why is it not as engaging as other videos, right? Like his Resident Evil one. Like I've loved his Resident Evil video and loved a lot of his other videos, so I'm trying to figure out why this one's a little different.
I will summarize any hangups regarding the maltreatment of various vertebrates with the assurance that life always finds a way. And so will my comically oversized gun, finding its way directly into this white devil's occipital lobe. In this game, we play as the mysterious, unthinking pestilence known as the human race, seeking out every variety of amazing and charismatic megafauna with the ultimate goal of gaining a newfound respect for the color of their insides and peacefully relocating them directly into the pit of hell where they belong. Taking place in the hostile and chaotic wasteland of the outside world, we will have to brave great fires, momentous floods, lightning storms, and an utterly insane amount of GPU load, all for the privilege of destroying the local environment as much as humanly possible. Along the way, overcoming many varieties of terrifying creatures unknown to God, ranging from the gigantic living police taser to the exploding dragon that is made out of Elmer's glue. And yes, unfortunately, I do have to be the bearer of bad news when I say that nobody cares about the story of this game because they are too busy wondering what the inside of a saltwater crocodile looks like.
I guess I'm the weird one. Like, and this is, I guess, this has been the Monster Hunter-ism that was explained to me, is that no one shows up for the story. I actually was like trying to get engaged in the story. I actually liked it. I liked where they were going with it. Like, sure, there were like monsters like Shu-Wu. I love Shu-Wu. I love little octopus dude. I don't know. It was one of those, like, the story was there. The story had substance, and I'll have to go back to some of the other titles, like the older, like Monster Hunter Wilds 3, right? Or not Wilds 3, Monster Hunter World 3, right? I'll have to go back to some of the older entries and try to, like, have a reference point, because this really was my first Monster Hunter game. And I think, extrapolating on my prior point, to Max0r's credit, he's trying to explain a lot in a very... a lot. He's trying to condense into a lot. So it looks like this section, the starting, is about 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Me and my some boomer brain, it's odd. I'm having a little trouble getting into this one.
So I will be summarizing the entire plot of this philosophical masterpiece by saying that it is the story of Pinocchio devouring thousands of bodies so he can finally become a real boy and finally experience real pain. No, you don't understand. He just wants to be a real boy. He just wants to live.
I love killing people and eating their bodies.
I'm getting a little bit theatrical here, but the game is about beating up animals with random Japanese people, so let's just begin from the starting. So first of all, because I know it's going to be a big point of contention.
That was a seamless transition. I will absolutely give him credit on that one. I think if he was able to condense it down to like a minute with his usual editing style, I think it would have been fine. However, once it, like how do you do that though reasonably? How do you condense that entire 2.5 minute, like those paragraphs? How do you condense that into a single thing? How do you explain what he did in a single minute? I don't think you do. I don't think that's reasonable, right? So it's one thing to have criticism, but if it's baseless, or if you look at it and you say, but that's not really feasible, the criticism ends up falling off, right? Like, I'm more than happy to criticize things like ad reads, and styles and stuff like that. So far, it feels like this is a little forced, but his upload schedule, times that he has to get things out, like it makes sense that he's a little strained on this. And this is just reading without knowing anything other than some tweets I've seen over on ye olde Twitter, right now known as X. So this is definitely an interesting one to watch.
Yes, Monster Hunter Wilds will feature monsters in it. Monsters who only play a small part in a large and delicately balanced ecosystem, shaped by millions of years of evolution, which unfortunately did not factor in that a bunch of random bald chimpanzees would eventually figure out how to sharpen rocks. So that situation is going to be changing soon.
Right.
And if the game simply has to have monsters in it, they might as well be dead. But to peacefully relocate such charismatic megafauna onto my face and my cock, we have to first get into the mindset of our distant ancestors and tap into man's primordial instinct to kill every single animal that is larger than ourselves. You see, humans are what we call persistence hunters, which means that we kill by running down our prey for so long, it will beg us for death.
Right.
And for reference, our closest competitors in a marathon are sled dogs and a horse. We run an annual marathon against horses, and sometimes the people win. So whenever you mount your gigantic bird that you cannot legally get a DUI on, I want you to think very hard about how we domesticated that shit, because it wasn't done by stopping and resting. Imagine for a moment that you are this gigantic rooster, and I am a ravenously hungry Filipino family. After a long and strenuous frontal lobotomy, you run away as far as you possibly can, with every single escape being a desperate sprint that takes the cumulative energy of 15 dead Aurochs. Meanwhile, the player is casually running an entire marathon by slamming down individual cabbages and using his sweat to radiate the heat equivalent of the fucking sun. Christ is alive on Earth and he is very hungry. And while we're on the topic of discussing biology, which this game treats as less of a suggestion and more like a restraining order, every monster in Wilds behaves and operates just like a real animal. Impressively stupid and incredibly likely to get shot by something.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ! Bro got hit with that Costco rotisserie chicken! Usually both at once. And just like real animals that breathe ice and have gigantic laser beams, these wonderful beasts are extremely territorial, even going so far as to pick random fights while you are in the process of killing them. We are trying to stab you! That is a completely unrelated animal! Every single time, without exception.
I do love the fights that ended up happening. I actually really liked it. I know, what was it? Was it Beetlejuice? And it was the B-52. We've talked about this in a couple of reactions. I didn't play that entry. The B-52 bomber and the whoever else, Devil Joe, they get into turf wars. I liked the turf war thing. I liked seeing it. I liked being able to fight like a Gravios, and then you'll see a the poison velociraptor looking thing pop on it, and they'll fight each other for a minute, and then they'll peel off from each other. I liked it. I thought it added a lot of depth to the game. I'm trying to figure out how to react to this, if I'm being honest. Almost 5 minutes in, his editing style is there. Like, it is very fast. There's less flashy things on the screen, but that's fine, right? Like, the intensity I feel is there, but I'm still trying to get a read because I don't know how to react to this, if that makes sense.
Are not showing this shit on National Geographic, dude. This lightning lizard may be missing most of his tendons and probably half his skull, but by God, he is absolutely going for that shit. And honestly, at this point, I am pretty convinced that most of them don't even need to do this because they're just in it for the love of the game. I was thinking I could play soon. You guys chill over there for now. I need to drink. I need to drink. Bro's got beef with my chronic alcoholism. Oh my god, I just killed this. It's not yours.
Wait, I forgot to go. I gotta go.
We fucking did it, guys. I want to thank everyone who gave their lives for my 3 Guardian Fulgur gems. These belligerent buffalo are also similar to their real-life counterparts in that each one has a natural habitat, 6 feet underneath the ground, with some residing in a multitude of unique environments, while others are severely endangered species whose endemic habitat consists entirely of a single room. Oh fuck, Ice Dragon's got hands.
Wait, are you trapped me?
Yeah, Jindahad hits a little hard.
No, I'm actually doing pretty well right now. Thanks for asking, though.
Dude, this is like he builds like a fucking snow fort. Like
Yeah, he does.
Oh my fucking god, what is Squidward doing? Not that I had
That also one-shots you.
anything to do with that. Which of course begs the question, why is the pink gorilla, whose entire diet consists of mushrooms and honey, also found in the biological weapons repository?
Dude, Congalala was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I sent it when Monster Hunter was new. Buddy saw it and he's just absolute filth because he's played prior entries as well. And I'm like, nah, this thing is objectively perfect. I love Congalala.
Congalalas be like, where are the hoes at? My brother in Christ, this is a nuclear weapons testing facility. There are no hoes here.
No, don't hurt him. He's just a boy. Leave him alone.
We will return to the subject at a different time. Also, did I mention that the monsters can vary in size a lot?
Yo, that is a... Look how big he is. Look how big he is.
Why is he so... Oh my god.
thick.
Dude, he's getting mocked. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. I'm really glad we can include a cock size comparison in this video. But on the subject of extremely funny animal abuse, you will notice that this game has a distinct lack of health bars. Because the main way of keeping tabs on our prey is by judging how many times they have tried to escape us, and by counting the amount of broken bones they have. Oh my god, left wing destroyed.
That was actually the big criticism super early, and I was able to justify it away fairly easily before Monster Hunter vets even explained it to me. Like, the lack of health bars adds to the game, right? You're having to look as a Rathalos starts limping, right? You're having to look as something isn't necessarily able to do the same attacks, right? So if you like, there's still some interesting ones. Like if you knock off the bird's tail, the funny rooster that we just covered, right? Like it's not gonna be able to light you on fire anymore. Its fire attack is effectively nerfed. You can still get hit by the tail. Its hitbox is smaller, right? But like that's the point, is you're hunting the monster, dare I say it. Adding a health bar is kind of counterintuitive to the function of the game, right? Like Resident Evil 7, I could justify it. Like I could see why people would run it, especially if they're training for speedruns or something like that, because Marguerite has a massive chonker of a health bar. But like at no point was I just like, sure, some of the fights ran long, but it's like that's the game. That's how that works. That's like giving yourself infinite ammo in Dead Space, a game series which I love. Suddenly the horror is less real and it turns into a shooting gallery, which is fine. I like when it turns into a shooting gallery with the foam finger, right? But like, I can also appreciate the survival horror atmosphere of it, right? Like, I feel that the health bar debate was kind of dumb because it was counterintuitive to the identity of the game. You were not hunting monsters at that point.
Really like the idea of like Ben Shapiro just getting on an airplane and screaming left wing destroyed and the fucking plane crashes. If the pilot doesn't show me his pronouns, I'm jumping off that fucking plane. Slowly and painfully torturing them to death over 20 miles until you decide to put them out of their misery. And those are the lucky ones. Because optionally, capturing the monsters for later use in my circus will always give us more body parts than skinning them, including but not limited to their skulls and limbs. The only logical conclusion being that every time we capture a monster, we are literally disassembling them. And the smarter the animal, the greater the agony it can feel when I capture its heart from its still living body. Do you know how much oil you could produce by pressing an Anjanath together? So aside from just the raw thrill of putting a living being through the process of sustained simian suffering, why do we even bother hunting the monsters? And what is there to gain besides the continued operation of my Chinese wet market? The answer, of course, is their skin. I promise I am going somewhere with this. Apes are like the uncanny valley of animals.
Is that why you rip their skulls out and wear them, Max?
Yes. I'm gonna fucking traumatize a child next Halloween. I'm gonna run up to them with this mask and be like, your mom is dead, you're in hell, your mom is dead, you're in hell. You see, the basic gameplay loop of Angry Birds is essentially to find new and amazing animals to turn inside out, and then fashioning yourself the perfect drip out of their intestines. Then use those intestines to hunt bigger and better monsters so we can further contribute to the endangered species list. Imagine for a moment that you and your friends are trying to build you a level 1 talisman of mushroom consumption, so you go and kill the giant farting monkey to put his teeth in it, when your friend tells you that he needs to build a rarity 6 Rathian bow, so he can later construct his level 8 Goo Goo Magaga dragon penetrator. So you go and kill both genders of that monster, and then another friend is like, hey, can we fuck up the lightning T-Rex while we're at it? I need to specifically cut out his nose bone 4 times to construct my Guardian Fulgur Anjanath Beta helmet. That way I can sync it with the skill I got from farming the cracked out nuclear dragon 30 times in a row. So you do that, and then the previous friend just goes like, never mind guys, we need to kill the evil-ass metal lizard for my second hunting horn called Precipice Covira, so I can spend a grand total of 60 more seconds every hunt combining that with the fucking war bongos. And after about 40 more hours of this, you are officially fighting God, and you have every single hunting horn buff known to mankind. That would be the intended experience. Therefore, one of the most important customization options in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Gun is the construction of a meticulously crafted build, containing within it the bones of an entire ecosystem, alongside a myriad of highly useful and effective skill builds, like the fast food build, the eating less build, the eating for free build, the grilling build. I don't know why so many of these are related to eating. The resistance to farting build. The shooting people build, just in case you are hunting in the streets. The bleed.
Wasn't the big point of contention the bow build? Like there was an end game bow build that was like actually like one-shotting like tempered Artfelds and stuff. And I think that was a lot of contention in the community. Right, I vaguely remember something about this. Like there was something with the bow builds that was actively detracting from players because you want to, in a game called Monster Hunter, you want to hunt those monsters like we've established. And if somebody shows up and they're just gonna one shot the tempered Arcfeld, sure, you get your mats and go, right? But like at that point, you're not playing the game, right? That was one of the big criticisms that I heard. And there were some people who dropped and even uninstalled who were Monster Hunter fans who were just like, nah, like bow build endgame just doesn't feel good. I'm curious what he's going to say about the endgame because I don't think I've actually played it. No, I haven't played any of the DLC. I played base. So anything that's happened now, I have not experienced. And I don't know, just the state on PC, I'm really not keen to go back.
Resistance build, when only one guy sometimes does bleed damage, the build where you do not hear things, the build where you do more damage as long as you are covered in soap, the build where you get resistance against impairments to mobility while in water, oil, silt, or streams, and lest we forget the mushroom consumption build, which is actually a really good skill to have if you can just memorize the exact buffs and utility of every single mushroom.
Max, you have to stop the mushroom bit. It's gone on far too long.
Shut up, it's good. I promise you it is good. You are going to feel so much pain when I am done tripping the fuck out. Speaking of eating material that we do not yet fully understand, as you can tell by the plethora of skills dedicated to it, eating in this game is considered a very important game mechanic. Not just for the skills they offer, but also for your basic biological functions. Your body is a helicopter powered by dead chickens, and you will be one shot by one if you do not eat. So while you do have the option of making yourself a bespoke amalgamation of calories in which you disgustingly glaze a cabbage with honey and feed it to the void, we are going to be doing our best to have our meals made for us in frankly unnecessary detail the proper way. Delivered exclusively by sentient cats who are all forced to seek employment in my kitchens for company scrip. Racial segregation has—
I don't remember there being a Chef Palico system though. I definitely missed this if there was one. I thought that was one of the big things is that there wasn't, it was from the game prior, right? So the current one, this one is Wilds, yeah. World had a system, and other games as well had the system where you could like just like buy food from the Chef Palicos, but that was, I thought, missing from Wilds. I'm apparently tripping.
It's never been so delicious. But by far my favorite tasting consumable for use in rapidly filling my stamina bar is a special item sold only in the description store called Gamer Sups Energy Drinks, now officially and only drinkable using the limited edition Max0r cup. Also officially and only spillable on the limited edition Max0r mousepad. I will be checking your house for compliance, because when making a high quality and eloquently designed Max0r merchandise, I wanted to communicate exactly what it looks like when you edit videos for 10 hours a day and it slowly consumes your life, eventually eating away at all the silence and darkness in the world until your existence is naught but a broad streak of neon light. So for that specific reason, I made sure that the mousepad glows. And when I need to negate the damage sustained to my health bar, I drink my GamerSupps energy from the limited edition Max0r cup. Unlike some other products, you will be able to take it outside and show your family. So use code Max0r with a 0 at the description store for money off my cup and giant-ass mousepad. Because much like the now extinct Chotacabra, once it is gone, it is never coming back. Also, did I mention that you can just casually begin eating and drinking directly in front of the monsters in this game.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay, enjoy the fight, fellas. I've got some grilling to do.
I'd give it a 9. I think it started off a little slow, but I think he picked up pace, and there was the Max0r isms that we all know and love. I do think that it started off a little slow on the read, but I do think it was a genuinely good ad read.
Max, you fucking grilling right now?
Yes, glaze that shit. It is so delicious. You guys are doing great, by the way. It is so good, though. Oh. Anyways, back to the fight.
Oh, shit, I gotta eat. I'm sorry, hold on.
Oh, okay. Good luck.
I hope the Dashguman doesn't give me the hots.
So about that. So now that we've covered your motivations and the highly particular meta progression of this game, this skill is giving me +3 attack when wet.
Nice.
Yeah, what the fuck? We are in the fucking explosion chamber, my guy. We need to go over exactly what we're going to do with that skin and the best ways that we can export explosive warheads into monster foreheads, facilitating our builds using a vast array of armor sets with some of the most unhinged appearances that I have ever seen in a video game, utterly convincing me that we are not merely taking the bodies of our victims, but also their very essence and immortal souls. Japan is basically what happens when you let the circus declare independence. What I am trying to lie about right now is that your appearance and dress is a very important part of this game, with a lot of options to pick from and an extremely in-depth character creator, which not only allows me, but encourages me to play the entire game as a sentient void, who has only known hunger and destruction for his entire eternal existence.
That's great.
Jesus Christ, get this fucking thing away from me. As well as enabling some truly amazing crossovers.
Fish.
Mr. Squidward, I should kick your fucking ass!
But perhaps even more important than our large selection of delightfully normal outfits is our choice of up to 14 ridiculously massive weapons, all of them completely different from each other, like the light bow gun, or the heavy bow gun, or the bow, or the gun. And in order to better educate you on how to best inflict animal disassembly, I have taken it upon myself to learn every single weapon, a course of action which you will soon see I am going to sincerely regret. This list is 100% accurate, and you can watch it in place of any tutorial.
Oh, he fell asleep. Hold up.
Wait, that's an attack! Ow. Sorry, Reese, I'm new to every weapon. The gun lance is the extremely slow, extremely defensive, and downright diabetic answer to the age-old question of license and registration. Because the only people in this world that I can trust are my two close friends, Smith and Wesson. Oh, look who fell asleep first at the sleepover.
Oh, sorry, I'm just scraping the serial number off my gun lance real quick.
Why?
Unspecified reasons.
Don't worry about it.
This weapon is for stupid people who don't want to build stupid things like elemental damage or the entire endgame weapon system, so you do exactly one combo on this weapon, and if the monster slips on a banana peel, you will unfortunately be forced to euthanize it.
Yeah.
The lance is like the gun lance if it was bigger than your entire character for some reason and did not have a gun, making this the perfect choice for a diagnosed schizophrenic. This weapon is for people who really do not want to get hit, and would rather directly face tank an entire laser beam or the fire of a death god, rather than being momentarily exposed to sentient thought. Coincidentally, the lance directly scales in its effectiveness based on how much crack the monster is doing, because the more damage that you can perfect guard, the more damage that you can deal. A utility that is extremely convenient when 90% of the monsters are all stupid and have 3 other hungry Chinese orphans to attack instead. Blocked him. The hammer is one of the most humane options in the entire game because it is capable of destroying the part of the monster's brain that can process pain, and is best utilized when charging up gigantic attacks for absolutely longer than is reasonably necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta get
I definitely had a hammer phase. Hammer's good.
closer. I gotta get closer. I gotta get closer. I gotta get closer. Okay, now I'm closer.
Oh my god!
As well as getting together with your friends to build a house in Minecraft. I'm hitting this motherfucker with that diamond pickaxe shit.
It really does look like
The insect glaive is a weapon that enables the player to fly indefinitely, bypassing the majority of attacks and intended design of this game, as well as sporting a gigantic bee that you can tie C4 high explosives to and throw directly into the monster's ribcage. And yes, there is an upgrade tree and an entire stat system dedicated to making slightly different bees. We can also use the insect glaive to repeatedly mount the monster, allowing me to automatically spam my custom dialogue callouts to completely random Japanese people, which, fun fact, can be fully customized for a variety of actions, such as yelling truth nuke incoming whenever I place a bomb, and preemptively diagnosing the causes of my teammate's death, which is
there was a lot of anti-Semitic ones. There was a lot of Hitler ones when I was playing at launch. Yeah, people really went ham into the system.
very funny.
Kill you, Max. They're never going to find the bottom.
Also, you can parry with this weapon while in midair. I parried that motherfucker at cruising altitude. I'm the fucking best. I love this game. That is my entire weekly dopamine supply gone instantly. The sword and shield is...
You know, I'm actually really surprised we didn't get a stripper pole meme. I'm really surprised because the moment I first used Insect Glaive and did the spins, I'm like, oh yeah, this is peak. I'm really surprised actually.
is a weapon. You could certainly choose to play it. Or you could choose not to. The Charge Blade is a sword and shield which requires a dual major in theoretical rocket science and aboriginal water philosophy to actually use and play correctly. Do you like the idea of switching dynamically between a nimble blade and a heavy axe? If so, that's great, because you're actually going to be playing as the chainsaw. A chainsaw with a multi-step assembly process involving the separate charging of at least 2 different things by way of perfect blocking and wound taking and a charge combo and canceling another combo, and also you charge the sword and you can charge the vials faster and you can overload them, and you can find this on the next episode of How It's Made. Today on How It's Made. Please don't do this to me, I have a family. Euthanasia gas is created by combining the Switch Axe is the incredibly satisfying portable microwave for those of us who like the idea of switching between a nimble blade and a heavy axe, where instead of moving dynamically between 2 heavily contrasting playstyles, we instead decide to randomly vibrate in place half the time, and then later discharge the internal components of a very large glow stick, an action which I can do several times in a row, because I slotted in the funny skill which appears to be entirely bugged, and will double the time that I can spend doing that, thereby trivializing the monster health for the remaining 70 hours of gameplay. Very balanced, Crapcom. Please don't listen to the haters. The Greatsword is the tremendously damaging, tremendously high commitment weapon that spends about half its time doing nothing, and the other half delivering monsters the approximate mass of the observable universe.
I definitely played Greatsword for a hot minute. I think I settled on Longsword though.
This is the funny dopamine weapon, whose entire utility and primary playstyle consists mainly of ignoring your health bar and fishing for the funny parry attacks. Oh, that hits the spot, yeah! Which are absolutely unnecessary, extremely addiction forming, and comprises the entire basis of my build and playstyle. Do not ask me to do anything useful, please. This is my main weapon, and I only know one of its moves. The Longsword is the extremely wacky designated tool for the profession of aura agriculture, and is comprised entirely of the most extra attack animations that I have ever seen, alongside having 2 completely different parry mechanics for seemingly no good reason other than trying to look like a divorced dad's conception of intimidating. A true samurai does not concern himself with child support payments. Therefore, this weapon is always to be played entirely in character, complete with in-character clothing, in-character auto-communication, and a mandatory soundtrack comprised
That's actually wild because I have that exact same armor set on and mine is bright pink.
entirely of evanescence and skill hit. To me,
No, I'm sorry. It is bright red, like Max Red Slider and red and black. Yeah, I'm Hyper Edge.
Crazy Frog is just regular frog, and Monster Hunter is just regular hunter. But if it's the aesthetics of the grave that you crave, then look no further than the absolute hyperactivity of the dual blades. The only weapon in this entire game that you can play from beginning to end without needing to browse increasingly racist TikToks. I am so stimulated right now. They got the dancing fruit and shit. Is this Monster Hunter Rise? These are the funny number dives, whose primary function is to keep the player increasingly and concerningly preoccupied with transforming the screen into Cocomelon for mathematicians, all while juggling a variety of powered-up states, such as Demon Mode, which is used to charge up the Arch-Demon Mode, and perfectly evade your enemies to finally enter Gay Sex Mode. Okay, I made that one up. That is not the name of the mode.
No, we're keeping that.
But if you pick this weapon, you might as well be honest. The dual blade fights also come with one of the funniest attacks in the entire game, where you sort of just casually chain backflip along the entire length of any given monster, which against some monsters is
wild. Yeah, against Jindaha, that'd be wild.
a little bit silly. The hunting horn is the preferred weapon for
Hunting horn is amazing. It is a true man's weapon.
hunters who want to simulate Rock Band for engineering students, while unfortunately suffering from a praise kink. Because every single time you decide to heal your team, they are going to begin reenacting the end of Evangelion. This is the most overpowered weapon in the entire game, solely due to its ability to give 3 exceptionally stupid baboons so many completely insane buffs and resistances that they will not even be able to kill themselves.
Yup.
Dude, what are these fucking buffs you keep giving me? I don't know what any of this means and it scares me. With the only caveat being that this weapon has so many combinations to perform with so many variations that you have to have the button guide on the top right of your screen at all times just to play the video game.
I actually really like that it was the guide there. Honestly, I actually found the playstyle of the hunting horn rather intuitive. I actually really enjoyed it. I swap to a hunting horn every now and again.
And even then, playing would be a generous term. The bow is the popular and charismatic ranged option, which behaves less like a precision projectile passer and more like a shotgun that is mounted on a surfboard. This weapon has a very evasive and reactive playstyle, whereupon the player reacts to everything the monster does by running out of stamina and collapsing like an anemic hamster. Nevertheless, when you actually have energy, the bow has the ability to dodge everything in the game, take every wound on the monster with funny tracking arrows, much to the annoyance of everyone else, and use at least 5 different varieties of illicit drugs with which to fire directly into the monster's exposed veins. Because just doing damage to them is no longer enough, and I want this white devil to suffer before he dies. The heavy bowgun and its legally distinct counterpart, the light bowgun, are just actual modern machine guns with no bow involved in the equation. Those are just bullets coming out. These weapons are extremely versatile, allowing you not only the choice between a large amount of ammunition, as well as the privilege to individually purchase every single variety in the local Costco at your personal expense, but also the choice between an ungodly, incomprehensible variety of stats, all of which can be individually modified for your personal preference. So long as you can understand the Excel spreadsheet. But my god, once you get past all that shit, it is incredibly funny to spray the dinosaurs with literal machine gun fire, so as to remind them that they are not the ones who are made in God's image. And so as the Father has created mankind, so must mankind create the United States military. Dude, this is exactly what I play third-person action games for. Point-and-click adventure game. The current objective is to keep the gun away from my mouth, and I'm currently failing. But in order to properly use and abuse our profuse amount of obtuse juice, we have to first integrate our literally hundreds of choices with thousands of variations to consider, such as, do I want the weapon skill that gives me damage when I roll 3 times every 20 seconds while wearing 4 pieces of a specific armor set that also gives me resistance to impairments to mobility while in water, oil, silt, or streams on a fucking Tuesday the 12th? Into our myriad of builds with a great deal of important considerations, the most prominent of which being your weapon element or status effect. Unless, of course, you are playing as a gun, in which case your
I think the progression does make sense. Like, so here's the thing is he's going through these as quickly as he can. Like the entire wacky weaponry, 14, 16-ish to about, that was about a whole 10-minute segment. Like, how do you condense that? You don't. Like this, I think this is really as condensed as you go for this. And like, I don't know, maybe my sense of humor is just broken right now. Like I was reacting to a couple Arma videos before this. I mean, I was laughing throughout those. Maybe the editing has just have an actual aneurysm. Like maybe we're actually just in Gorbino's quest. Like it's good. Like the editing is good. I think, well, because he's used stream stuff in his work before. I'm trying to figure out why this video is different.
weapon element is also going to be gun. Now, I won't be getting into every element because, dear God, what is this shit? But my favorite selections of elemental damage would have to include the dragon element, which is a type of animal and not a primordial force, Capcom. The blast element, because every monster is weak to my bee-powered hand grenade. And by far the funniest element in the entire game, the sleep element, which is used to prank all of the monsters by waiting for them to fall asleep and then placing a deadly amount of high explosive barrels directly in front of their faces.
Jesus Christ!
Oh my god.
All right, I'm gonna actually. Can I use my heaviest hitting attack on him?
Yeah, sure, whatever you want, man.
I think this might deal.
I think I hit the wrong button, by the way.
I gotta push this away fast.
No, you don't.
Ready when you are, Max. You detonate.
Tell my wife that I was goated with the sauce.
All right, just place the bomb. All right, just place another bomb.
I have a lot of clips involving bombs. So now that we have a good understanding of our many implements of peaceful relocation, it is time for us to take our domestic violence international and replace our casual disregard for animal life with a ranked competitive one instead. Because to truly combat the animals of Monster Hunter, you must not only know yourself, know your weapon, know your armor build, and know which mushroom color corresponds to which buffs, like a very unhealthy game of Simon Says, but must also understand the incredibly violent ecosystem in which we hunt, as well as the gigantic living PC destroyers that choose to inhabit it. So with the understanding that I have thus far forgotten to show the monsters now in mind, please allow me to describe to you the content of these monster hunting wilds, and why half of it makes absolutely no logical sense, both geographically as well as constitutionally. Starting, of course, with the... Welcome to the sand-laden dunes of the Windward Plains, one of the most horrifically hostile locations known to mankind due to its seasonal tendency to jump between the likes of violent sandstorms, apocalyptic lightning hurricanes, and a special kind of weather condition exclusive to this game called the GPU Load Tornado, in which the environment is so brimming with the miracle of life that the sheer number of on-screen animals will make your PC beg for the sweet release of death more than the monsters that are contained within. This area is home to a bunch of silly little guys, whose primary defense against human predation is that they are so stupid and so absolutely worthless that you will be forced to question why you were even hunting them in the first place.
I think I know what it is. I think this is being treated as an objective guide with Max0r edits, rather than being a Max0r plays with Max0r edits, right? I think that's what's different. Like I'm having to think about it, right? And I'm thinking about like Russian Badger videos. I'm thinking about recent TF2 videos we've watched. This feels more like a Soundsmith weapon stereotypes. Well, no, weapon stereotypes. That's not necessarily the correct one. This feels like a oh my god. I'm totally spacing on the name right now. Lazy Purple video, right? This feels like a Lazy Purple going over certain weapons. No, that's still not correct. I'm trying to put it into words. I think it's coming across as a fair and unbiased, well, slight bias, objective review. More like I guess like a Seth Zine Talk video with more extrapolation. And I think that's what's throwing me off. Rather than, you know, him explaining his like Hunter and his playstyle in Bloodborne, right? Less his personal journey through it and experiencing his personal journey and edits with him, and more the fact that this is a overarching edit, and I can see where the script is split up, right? This is a very strange one to react to. Like, he put in a lot of good work on this. I can't understate that enough, right? I'm a very small channel on YouTube. I'm a dingus. Let's put it that way, right? Like, I think that's what's getting to me. I think that's what it is. I think that it's reading less as his own experience and more as just, this is the game.
You guys baked a stupid fucking rotisserie chicken for me. I'm playing Minecraft. This shit is just like Steve's lava chicken. Holy shit.
I love this attack. This is so cool.
Oh my god. With the only exception being the insanely aggressive biological war crime known only as Ray Dow, who has a face that transforms into a gigantic railgun, which he uses almost exclusively on every other monster found within a 10-mile radius. This is why we have to kill you, dude. You're fucking up the ecosystem. Oh, please, God, don't kill him. Please don't kill him. No. He was so young. I don't know what the fuck is up with that. Lightning pterodactyls just got beef today.
Oh, Max!
The Scarlet Forest is the crowded and exceptionally vertical home to most of the fresh water on the entire planet Earth, varying greatly in gameplay between the blue water season, the blood water season, and the flood water season, during which times about the same variety of monsters can be found at basically any time. This area is home to a bunch of horrifically vibrant death machines, who are as violent, ruthless, and terrifying as they are exceptionally stupid to look at.
This whole section's great. Wayward Plains, Blood Forest, right? Like, all the places make a lot of sense. I feel if you went from how to skin a Tyrannosaurus for fun, you had a section of wacky weaponry about half the length, and then you went with I think the damage types are relevant though. That's what reads into the objective review, and then just get into the locations. I feel like that would have flowed a lot better. But I mean, everyone's an armchair critic, and I'm not spending 10 hours a day over the course of several months editing this, right? Like, that's not. I feel like any criticism I have only goes so far reasonably, because I'm not the one editing this. I'm not the one putting in hard work. In fact, most of what I do is heavily criticized because I add too much to reactions, right? Like, that's an actual heavy criticism that I have consistently. So this is, I'm almost at a conflict of interest because I like Max0r's videos, right? I feel disingenuous reacting to his videos because of how long they take. And I'll get to it at the end. I know for a fact I've caused issues for a few people with Max0r reactions, like watching them and then trying to engage with other people, watching other people's reactions. I've definitely been the source of a couple issues. So I guess I'm at a weird conflict of interest here. Like, sure, I sit in a chair and react to thing and upload reaction, right? But at the same time, it's hard to find certain breakpoints. It's hard to really know where to pause in a Max0r video, because another common criticism is, Kip, you literally pause before the joke, which is fair. I don't know how you're supposed to react to Max0r, if that makes sense.
With some of my favorites being the nefarious Yonkuku.
You're gonna love this one. Just wait till you see what he does next.
Dude, that's his fourth tail whip attack.
You're joining the hunt so far, Hunter.
He does that a lot.
Resharpen your weapon. You'll love this next attack.
This is like the only move he does. It's insane. I broke it.
It's
Yeah,
really
he does
the
that.
wall.
Yeah, I broke the Yonkuku. He's broken. I don't even know how this happens. The funny fire hose fox that can instantly kill endgame builds in one singular attack. What the fuck am I even skinning you for? While also forcing you to hilariously slip and slide around the fight by covering your body in an inconvenient amount of soap. Oh, please, God help me. I've been hit with the shower status effect. It just...
I don't remember the Mizutsune. Yeah, no, I did the final boss. I did the funny dragon that you have to break out of the crystal. He's not a boss that you can fight. I think they added that later to refight him. Where was he? He's in Blood Forest? Lalabarina. Pangalala. Fox, Yankutku. That was after going back, I think, on your second round through. Why do I not remember Mizutsune in base? I remember the beta fish, swole fish, right? The one at the top of the waterfall in the story. I remember that. Like, I swore I played the game. I played it. I have no idea where Mizutsune is.
Critical damage against gamers. As well as the gigantic pink monkey who primarily attacks her party by farting and shitting on them.
He's so
Which
good.
you have to believe me is not a mod and is an actual feature in the game. Proving definitively that the Scarlet Forest is the closest thing that God has made to a mistake. The Oil Well Basin is frankly the scariest goddamn ecosystem I have ever seen in a Monster Hunter game, and the sheer implication of its very existence frankly threatens the peaceful continuation of all life on this planet. Functioning as the environmental equivalent of a full-scale nuclear meltdown, while leaking enough carbon into the atmosphere to make the combined output of every Chinese steel mill look like an absolute fucking joke.
We live together.
Varying between its seasonal cycles by first leaking an entire ocean's worth of straight-up crude oil, before some guy eventually decides to light a single cigarette and causes all of the oil to violently explode over a period of 6 entire months. Come visit the oil well basin. We are a country-sized gas leak. Consequently, the animals that live in the oil well
I think the oil well basin, Blood Forest to oil well basin, I think that was a seamless transition. I like that.
basin are very disturbing in design, such as the example of the humble Rompopolo,
I love
who
it.
has the
He's
body
so
of
cool.
a wacky-waving, inflatable, arm-flailing tube man, but can deflate himself extremely easily because his hands are made of swords, with a diet consisting entirely of crude oil, which, as you will recall, is on fucking fire for half the year, and whose primary natural enemy is an extremely angry, exploding gorilla. Oh, fuck, I made a mistake. Bro goes to the gym in a goddamn landmine. I don't know what this is. Please don't expect me to know what this is.
What the fuck?
Oh, that's his body slam.
What the fuck?
As
Yeah, I have issues with the monkeys.
well as the example of the funny computer melting octopus,
He's so
who has the
cool.
unique mechanic of purposefully attacking your computer with 10,000 different particle effects, so as to crash the device drivers of anyone that is currently fighting him.
Yep.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm fighting, Reese. There's too many particle effects in this goddamn game. Won't someone please think of the YouTube bit rate? Oh, Jesus Christ, he's firing the computer killer again. Crapcom is so innovative with their gameplay. I genuinely feel threatened right now. They made it so the boss actually heats up your room while fighting him. I would like to
pretty cool,
revise
pretty
my
immersive.
previous opinion. This is the closest thing that God has made to a mistake. The Ice Shard Cliffs is the confusing to navigate snow-covered
Okay, that one was a little more sudden, a little more rough. Oil won't basin. I love how he titled that. Oil basin into shit. The cliffs. That was a little bit more of a sudden transition. Why have we also not talked about what's his face? Oh God. Well, I don't remember. I literally don't remember names. Otter with hat. I know they're not otters. I literally don't remember what he's called right now. Rove. Yeah, Rove. Dude, literally best character in the game. Rove is amazing.
nightmare realm primarily populated by increasingly aggressive apes and awfully alarming arachnids, featuring two extremely diverse seasons that I can definitely tell the difference between, both of which are some variety of cold and exceptionally gray. This area features a multifarious selection of amazingly demonic entities, which provides a very unique contrast with the single enemy who is a completely normal monkey for some reason, whom I will remind you is unlocked for our hunting convenience after fighting the dragon that is made out of other dragons. Why does this fight even exist in the game? What is even the possible utility of hunting this thing? And who is this fight actually supposed to be for? The answer is me. I had to skin 5 of them alive specifically for this joke. I am so fucking sick of tempered Rathalos, dude. Can we just go beat a monkey to death with a baseball bat or something, dude? It is really important to me. It's what I do to unwind. By the way, that voice you keep hearing in the background is my brother. He's not very talkative, but he has killed 23 Nursillas.
Nice.
And he's not going to stop anytime soon. The Ice Shard Cliffs also contains one of the most angry and aggressive demons that you can possibly encounter in this game. This is Gormagala, and he does not care where you are, does not care what you are currently fighting, and certainly does not care how many times you have already tried to escape him. If Gormagala is even remotely on the same planet as you, he is going to kill the monster that you are already trying to hunt before moving on to facilitating your convenient commute to the afterlife. Oh, hi, little guy. What the fuck are you doing here? What's up? Why does bro have beef with the concept of personal space, dude? We are kind of busy fighting the nuclear apparition that is passing out in the corner. Gormagala, this is no time to do back shots with a bomb. That was the 3rd time he attacked us in the same hunt, and the 4th one made me crash the fuck out.
Here, let me give you a attack up.
Hi, Gormagala. What are you doing here for the 4th time in a fucking row? What's going on, man? Welcome back to the fight. My penis was almost unshredded today. I had to do so much audio engineering to make that sound good, by the way, because the original was kind of...
Oh my god. I'm gonna run around the whole arena. I'm running suicides. The fitness grand pacer test.
We'll now begin the push-up section. Down.
I'm sorry about that. My power literally flashed, everything shut off, and I had to recover the file, so I'm having to stitch it together in post. I really apologize about that.
The Ruins of Wyveria is a uniquely magical, utterly bizarre kingdom founded on the remnants of a now extinct and highly advanced civilization, brought low and eventually destroyed by their hubris when, instead of inventing something sensible like healthcare or basic firearms, funneled their immense brilliance into crafting living, fire-breathing bioweapons with a reputation for destroying entire ethnicities, only to become surprised when it turns out that arming your own ecosystem was not a sustainable investment strategy. As a result of this, Wyveria contains a wide selection of highly volatile constructed infants to fight with a lot of modifiers preceding their names. Yes, I am looking at you, Tempered Guardian Ebony Odogarin, as well as a completely random selection of monsters pulling from the most annoying population of every surrounding region, including but not limited to a lot of animals that definitely should not be in Tyrannosaurus Alley right now, as well as the monsters that shredded my asshole open in every other area of this game, now migrating to Martin Luther King Boulevard to put the ops on site again. Ha 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 ha! No!
I want Borders originals. I want Borders derivatives.
Kyle, what the fuck are you even talking about? I literally don't think I have to take the... What is he doing? What is he fucking doing? What is he doing? Get the fuck down from there! Okay, Squidward, I'm gonna show you my big ass clarinet real fast. Yes! I better not catch you with the fucking bubble bowl again, dude. Oh. Where'd he go? Oh fuck, oh fuck! Like right before he dropped down on me, I was like, oh, where'd he go?
He's gonna crash down again.
So to end our extensive deep dive into the secrets of mass extinction and my intellectual thesis on how to best accelerate it, you may have come to the conclusion that this game seems slightly complicated and of fairly considerable girth. But I can assure you, there is absolutely no need to worry about that, as I have extensively documented this game for hundreds of hours and still don't know what is happening in it.
Yeah,
Fortunately,
that's
through
normal.
the glorious advent of online multiplayer, my personal weaknesses can be swiftly transformed into problems for the entire team.
Yeah.
Because contrary to your initial impressions, Monster Hunter is more than just a game about hunting monsters, but is instead a grand, collaborative exercise in a most collective confusion, prominently exemplified by the fact that the main method of communication with your team is an arcane system of developer-sanctioned memes, which you can send at any time to anyone in your party, serving all of your articulation obligations with a funny variety of insane messages, used in situations like when your friend is beating himself off, when you need your friend to stop beating himself off, when you yourself have finished beating yourself off, when you have a brilliant idea, when you need to express radical political sensibilities, balls, hunt Tua, your execution date is tomorrow, and when your dad is telling you why he left the family all those years ago.
Milk and death!
Yeah, I've seen that
Subsequently,
one.
after finishing what this game calls a story and entering our final location of the video, we will be able to choose from a wide assortment of normal and non-violent activities, such as going bowling with a series of non-violent explosives, arm wrestling your friends while a random person gets a little too close, investigate your psychotic friends' custom profiles to discover that they have for some reason killed 244 Arkvelds and really want you to know about it, as well as use a variety of emotes to express yourself, which are infinitely repeatable and extremely loud for some reason. I am in hell. This is hell.
Max, there's a war outside! Hurry!
Genuinely, how are you allowed to do this? Me, when I set fire to the local Walmart, I told the judge it was just an emote. Also, in one of the greatest choices ever made by a developer, our Gathering Hub comes built in with actual musical theater, featuring a serious and lore-significant performance that concludes with a gigantic flashbang. Oh! Holy shit, it's so bright! Greatly...
I don't know. Is this a different Monster Hunter? Is this Worlds? I'm really confused where some of this footage is from.
Enhanced and enriched in every single way, merely by the fact that you and your friends can aggressively pelt fireworks directly into the vocalist for the duration of the entire show.
Amazing.
Hatsune Miku, please, I am your biggest fan. I just wanted to show my appreciation. Overall, the thing that makes Monster...
That can't be Worlds, or it can't be Wilds, because, like, we had the whole Arkveld plot point, and that was the end, unless that was, like, Hunter rank 100 stuff. I don't know. It could be side quest stuff that I never did. Blows my mind.
Hunter Great is not just limited to the combat, but rather is a complex ritual of preparation, cultivation, cooperation, and acceleration, where actual strategy is more of a suggestion, and biology is barely a mention. A place where fashion matters much more than function, and the difference between a successful hunt and total disaster is whether or not I ate an egg today. Moral of the story is, the real hunt is the friends that we made along the way. And ultimately, what's actually important is not that you understand Monster Hunter, but rather, you just need to look like you do. That is it for this video, guys. Please buy the cup and mouse pad. And to fool YouTube into thinking that this is a good video, please leave a very nice comment about how you were extremely satisfied with the quality of the Max0r experience. As always, more insane gotcha game content to come. And I sincerely hope that this game will consume your life slightly less than it has consumed mine.
I thought it was a good video. I did. Yeah, sorry about the edit. I can't stop my power from just briefly flashing and everything shutting down. It had actually almost corrupted the big file, or the base file, so I had to work on that in post. Like, this was good, and I don't want it to be misconstrued, right? Like, I thought it was a good video. I think that, I don't know, I was expecting also a, like, Moog level, like, Arc Veld AMV. I don't think it would have fit, though, right? As much as expectation from prior videos, one, that's a lot of time and effort to put into it. Two, this isn't, I mean, he's done a couple other videos that aren't Elden Ring, and a couple of them have flopped, which is just the nature of the algorithm. I don't know. I think I'm running into a conflict of interest because and this comment still sticks with me anytime I react to a Max0r video. There was somebody, and this was a good comment. This was done in good faith, where somebody was watching, I think it was Bow the Whale, react to Max0r, but it was one of those reactions where, like, I've added, I don't know how much time, and I still could have added more by pausing more and commenting more. But he ended up commenting, you know, hey, you know, maybe we should pause a little more. And I guess a lot of the comments just kind of dunked on him. So I don't know. I am having such a conflict of identity with reaction content at this point, and I'm just watching as, I don't know. I genuinely don't know, if I'm being completely honest. I'm having a conflict of interest because, like, Max0r does make good videos. He makes a lot of really good content, and content takes so long for him to produce that I kind of feel disingenuous just reacting to it. Going into this, I mean, that comment still sticks with me because I feel like I am actively causing problems because I am pausing too much. And it's also just stressing me out to a point where I genuinely don't know how to react to a Max0r video. There's bits that I want to pause at. Finding those bits is a little few and far between at certain points, but that's because the editing style flows together. And I don't know, that's just kind of throwing my thoughts out there. At the end of the day, I thought this was a good video. And, you know, regardless if somebody adds, like, you know, 2 minutes to the final product, right? Like, don't be that guy. Don't try to start anything, right? I try to pause and add what I can because I feel like I can add stuff. But unfortunately, that's just not how people want to do React content. And that's just a fact of life. Thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. Definitely go check out the original video, especially if you have not. I really appreciate you, especially if you made it this far. And I will see you all in the next one.